Welcome to Learning to Glow, a show about wellness, skin health, and self-development. I'm your host, Jess. I'm a mom, entrepreneur, and skincare expert. I'm so excited to share tips on how to achieve healthy skin and bring amazing guests in the field of health, fitness, aging gracefully, and personal growth. Let's explore all different ways we can take care of ourselves as women, both inside and out, to truly shine. So let's get glowing. Hello and welcome to Learning to Glow. I am your host, Jess, and today I want to talk about my most frequently asked questions as an esthetician, as a beauty expert, as a skincare therapist in the industry for over 20 years. I get a lot of questions, and I've compiled a list today that kind of go over the most frequently asked questions. And so I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope this answers some of the questions you might have about your skin, skincare products, routines, treatments, any of that. And if there's something that I missed or left out that you are interested in learning about, please let me know. You can always send me a message on Instagram. I'm at Simply Jess Skincare, or you can send me an email. All of this information will be in the show notes as well. Okay, so let's get started. The number one most asked question that I get is, how do I use my skincare products? In what order do I use them? This isn't just true for my clients who use my product line, but just in general, people are always confused by what they are supposed to do at what time of day and in what order. So I like to have like a general rule of thumb when it comes to applying skincare products, and that is apply them from lightest to heaviest. So I'll give you an example here. If you have cleansed your skin, we don't count cleansing because obviously that's the first thing that you're going to do. The first step after cleanse is always going to be a toner. And if you know toners, they're pretty much like water consistency, so super light. The next step is going to be your serums, your complexes, your essences. They all have different names depending on the brand. Those are also going to be pretty lightweight. Some are water-like, some are like a gel-based type of consistency, but typically with those types of products, what you want to do is have them absorb deeper into the skin. And using a toner will help drive that product deeper into the skin, so I always advise a toner. But a serum is going to be your next step because that is going to be your product with your active ingredients and the ingredients that you really want to address skin concerns with. So that will be your next step. And after that, you're going to be doing your usually moisturizer. So this can be a moisturizer that is cream. You can use an oil. Some people use an oil as a moisturizer, like in my line. And that is going to help like seal it all in is how I kind of picture it. As you notice, like after the serums, the next step is going to be a little bit thicker. Obviously, creams are thicker than a water-like serum. And if you are applying your products during the daytime, your last product would be an SPF. And that doesn't matter as much with the consistency because there are some lighter weight sunscreens. That is just something that you do last no matter what. So the next type of treatment products would be your weekly treatments. So when do you apply those? So what is a weekly treatment? This could be an exfoliation, which is helping to slough the dead skin off of your face. It could be a mask. There are different masks for different types of issues. If you have dry skin, you might like a gel-based mask. If you are oily or have acneic skin, it might be a clay-based mask or a mud mask. That is a weekly treatment. Usually you don't want to use exfoliation daily or mask daily. It's just not necessary. Again, we'll talk more about how this can be different for each brand. But general rule of thumb, if you are going to use these products, this is the order in which you would do it. You would cleanse and tone, and then you would exfoliate. So I like to think about this like when I was an esthetician in the treatment room. It's going to be the same thing that you're going to be doing at home. So you would cleanse, you would tone, and then you would apply your exfoliation. If this is a rinse-off product, you would remove it and then do your next products in a row, which would be like we discussed, serums, moisturizers, oils, etc. If you are doing a mask, you would do it in the same way. If you wanted to give yourself like a really nice at-home self-care Sunday type of a treatment, you would exfoliate and then you would mask. So we want to slough off the dead skin with exfoliation and then treat. So if we're using a mask or your serums, that's always going to be after the exfoliation. Are there products out there that have everyday exfoliation? Yes, there are. So this goes back to definitely look at the instructions. All of skincare will have instructions on how to use their product, how often, and what step, etc. The instructions are usually on the bottle, or you can reach out to the company. So if you have a bunch of skincare at home and it's mix matched, you can just kind of figure out from what I've explained in what order you would use it all. So kind of a part 2 on this first question would be, how often should I use the product? I have a couple different answers for this. And I just have to reiterate, this is a general advice. This is general advice for the general public. I like to really customize my advice. So for my clients, I let them know specifically what they should do for their skin concerns, which is a big part of how we use our skincare. But I'm just doing this for a general idea of how and when to use your products. So how often do you use your products? Ideally, you want to wash your face and do your skincare regimen twice a day. We say AM and PM, or use in the AM or use in the PM. There are some people that I know that are not into doing a lot of different skincare regimens. So they're happy if they get their face washed at the end of the day. And for those types of clients, I do think a nighttime routine is more imperative than the morning routine, just because, again, generally speaking, our skin cells are regenerating 10 times faster at night. So if we're going to be using this amazing product for fine lines and wrinkles, for example, let's put that on at night where the skin cells are repairing and they're regenerating, and we're going to see a better result. As far as cleansers go, you want to cleanse twice a day, especially at night, again, because we're treating the skin at night. So if you have a bunch of makeup on, you can't apply your serums. It won't do the work that it needs to do. I also like to recommend, when we talk about serums are sort of the most important product for a specific concern. Like I mentioned, fine lines and wrinkles. If you have fine lines and wrinkles, really getting a targeted serum to address that is going to be key in seeing a result of that problem. So say you have a wonderful vitamin C. Vitamin C is incredible for anti-aging, collagen production, protection from the sun. It's like one of the most used ingredients out there because it works. There's a lot of studies behind it, tons of research. It is like a staple in skincare. So if you use something like a vitamin C twice a day, you're going to see a better result than if you were to use it once a day. So I like to say use your serums twice a day. Some people have 2 different serums for 2 different types of issues. So I have sensitivity, but I also have fine lines and wrinkles. So maybe in the morning, I'll use my vitamin C. And in the evening, I'll use my hydrating, calming ingredients for that nourishing and calming of the skin. Again, you can also layer serums. So if those are big concerns of yours, you can use both twice a day. And now that we're talking about application, I always like to recommend that you pull your product down, not just ending at your chin, but you go all the way down your neck and your décolleté. The reason why we recommend that is because I like to look at the neck and the décolleté like part of my face. Everything that I put on my face, I put on those other areas because they're exposed. I'm wearing a V-neck shirt, or obviously my neck is exposed most of the time. So you want to also treat that delicate skin with the same skincare that you're using on your face. Okay, so next step is, what is my favorite at-home device? I have a lot of at-home devices. I like to research everything, and for my own skin, I like to have a few for my concerns. And if I had to choose one, it would be my at-home LED light facial mask. It is my favorite thing in the world for at-home devices. It works better than anything else, in my opinion. And the one I have is a red light, which really helps with fine lines and wrinkles. This is something that when I used to work at a medical spa in Los Angeles, all of these very A-list celebrities used to come in and get this treatment. It is so good for promoting collagen. It's completely non-invasive, so you can get this treatment and you would have no idea that you had anything. There's no downtime or anything. It just makes you glow. It helps your skin look firmer. So when they came out with an at-home version of the clinical equipment, I knew I was going to go with this brand. I'll leave this all in the show notes too in case you're interested. But this is the one thing that I'm really consistent with because I know it works. They have 20 years of research. They're FDA approved. And I've just seen it for myself, like with my own skin and with different clients, how effective it is. So if your concern is aging, different signs of aging like fine lines and wrinkles, this is a great option. There are a lot of other options out there. This is a more of an investment financially, but it's great that you can use it over and over again. And I've had mine, I feel like it's been a couple years and it's amazing. It's one of my favorite things. I also love for the lower end cost, I like using one of those facial gua sha tools. Those are very inexpensive and they help lift and tone. It's just something that you have to do and make time for because it isn't like just something that you put on like the mask and you just sit and relax. You actually have to do the work. A lot of people love doing the work. It's very relaxing. It's just the ultimate self-care. So those are my two favorites from like a higher end example and something that's very cost effective. Okay, so the next one is, what is your favorite Botox alternative? And a lot of people ask me about Botox. I personally do not do Botox. I have in the past. I used to work at a medical spa and I've done it a couple times, but I decided for me it was going down a more natural path that Botox wasn't for me. And there's a lot of research. I always tell people, do your own research, look up different things about it and listen to other people's stories about their experiences because it's ultimately your decision whether you do it or not. But I like to offer that there are things that you can do to help with your fine lines and wrinkles. Botox really does work. I'm not going to lie. Like it's so easy. You just go in, they inject you, your wrinkles are gone. But if you aren't comfortable doing it, or if you don't like what you've seen or heard, there are other things that you can do. And if you listen to my show, you've heard one of our first episodes with Courtney, who is an acupuncturist. She offers facial acupuncture, which acts the same way as Botox. And there's different, facial treatments that you can use and that can help give you a similar outcome as a Botox. Not all of them are going to be as effective, just be honest, because it works. Botox really does work. But you can do things like laser treatments. You can use, like we just talked about, you can go and get a red light treatment, facial LED light, red light treatments. They're really great for boosting collagen. You can use that facial tool that we talked about. There's a lot of skincare products that are going to help. They're not going to work as good as Botox works, but and some people who are listening to this that do get Botox, these are complementary. So if you're spending all that money to get Botox, you can also do these other treatments and just help your Botox result. Obviously, there are some contraindications that you have to look into, but you can do a lot of this to help maintain if you are getting Botox. Some people will do some of these at-home facials or go and get other treatments, and it will help their Botox last longer. So as far as Botox goes, that's my answer. I feel like you just need to do some of your own research and feel how what you want to do and make your own decision based on what you learn. Next question is, how often should I get a facial? Some people recommend 4 to 6 weeks. That's kind of the gold standard recommendation. You can do a lot at home as well if you if you're really good about your skincare routine, you're regularly exfoliating and masking, you can probably push that out. Some people don't have the money to get facials, so it's just based on what you can manage. I love a facial. It's one of my favorite things to get treatment-wise. I love facial massage, all of that. So I don't even get them 4 to 6 weeks. I just try to be really good about what I do at home. My last one is about what kind of ingredients should I be looking for in my skincare? I get that question. I'm going to list off some of my favorite ingredients and why and what they're good for and what skin type they're good for. This is just, I can't mention all of my favorites because I do have a lot, but these are product ingredients that I think make a big impact on the skin and things I would make sure to keep in my regimen. The number one is carrot seed oil. Carrot seed oil is an amazing natural ingredient that's high in vitamin A. So anything that's high in vitamin A, it can be used for firming and really helping to turn over, cellular turnover, and just help firm and tone the skin. So a great anti-aging product, whether you're dry, dehydrated, or normal skin type, that's an amazing ingredient. Hyaluronic acid. This is like probably one of my favorites of all time. It is so versatile. It can be used on any skin type. It's great if you're sensitive. It's great if you're dry, dehydrated. It binds up to 1,000 times its own weight in water. So when you put on your skincare and you're using hyaluronic acid, you can really keep that moisture and hydration all day long. And that just helps add to glowing skin, which is what everybody's after. So hyaluronic acid is a must. Vitamin C, I talked about a little bit. This is an incredible aging product. So if you have hyperpigmentation, if you've been in the sun, if you have sun exposure, sun damage, vitamin C is something that you should definitely be using. White tea extract. This is a really great antioxidant, which means it's going to help protect your skin from free radical damage. White tea extract is really great for sensitive skin as well. So it protects, it calms, it is something that it's just one of my favorites as well. And the Rose of Jericho, this is a plant found in the desert that is super, super hydrating. So it's like, think about it like drenching your skin with hydration. This is something that is amazing if you're dehydrated. You can actually be dehydrated and combination or oily. I've seen a lot of clients that are acneic, but they have severe dehydration. And a lot of times that's because they're using products that are pretty harsh and they're trying to work on their acne, but what ends up happening is they really dry out their skin. And this could lead to even more oil production. It leaves you feeling unbalanced, and no one likes that dehydration in their skin. It makes putting makeup harder. It doesn't go on as nicely. So making sure that you have ingredients that are really hydrating, like your hyaluronic, Rose of Jericho, things like that. And that's more of a unique ingredient, but those are going to all help keep your skin looking really nice, protected, and glowy. So that is my list of my most frequently asked questions. I do have more. I can always do a part 2 if I need to, or if you guys want to send me your questions. Even if you have specific questions about your skin type, I would love to hear them. I'm always trying to help get out this information for basic skincare because it can be very confusing. And there's a lot of marketing that kind of contradicts different brands, confuse what one brand says might be different than another brand. So it's definitely confusing, and I get that. So let me know if you have any questions. You can just send me a message on Instagram at Simply Jess Skincare. I also have a special offer for everyone who stayed to listen to this whole podcast. My skincare line, Simply Jess Skincare, I'm offering a discount of 20% if you use the code podcast at checkout, just so that if you have never heard of my line or used my line and you're interested in checking it out, please go to my website, simplyjessskincare.com, and let me know if you have any questions while you're there. Of course, I really help people with giving that personalized consultation because I know it's confusing sometimes, but it's a very simple line, simple but very effective. I use all of the ingredients that I mentioned in different products in my line. and they work amazing. My whole focus on my line is to really give you that glowy look by hydration and really taking care of the skin. So if you have any questions, let me know. I hope you guys have an amazing day. Thank you so much for being here and listening to this skincare episode, and we will see you next time. Thank you for listening to this week's episode. Please subscribe and review so we can reach more people who want to learn to glow alongside us. See you next time.